Welcome to Finding Monster Right, the show about finding monsters, right?
Instead of a dark lord, you would have a queen! Not dark but beautiful and terrible as the dawn, treacherous as the sea, stronger than the foundations of the earth. All shall love me and despair. I'm Allie.
I'm Adam. And we are back into our favorite time of year, the October month. I don't know why I said that, like there's other types of October. But yes, we are, and hey, surprise, we're back in Middle-earth so soon.
Surprise. Would you call it an October surprise? Shelob Gollum 2024.
Right. We are delving into the personhood, man, I said so much better earlier. Yes, we are diving into the platform of two of the great villains of Middle-earth. Or I would say villain and troubled being. It's the parties aren't black and white.
I think it's a pretty black and white, I think. But anyway, we can get into that. So
I was gonna say that this topic has been on our list, our drawing board, since I think like the very beginning. Like I think there's gonna be a 2020 category at one point.
Yeah, and then we decided that politics were too much of a bummer. But now, like, I don't know. We've had some pretty good bits lately with politics. We voted boo no matter who back in 2020 and defeated Trump once and for all, I think. We endorsed Santa, and then he lost, but the person that he endorsed won, so that was pretty okay. So yeah, no, I think if we endorse Shelob in 2024, I think we will safely divert our powers away from causing too much mischief.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're kind of spreading the vote. We're a mixed interest party. And we want everyone to get their say.
Yeah, I mean, I won't throw away my vote too quickly, but like, also, Fetterman and Shapiro, 2022, obviously.
Absolutely. Yes, though.
For all our Pennsylvania heads.
Blue down ballots in Pennsylvania.
If Mastriano wins, I'm moving to New York. Like, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm pro Squonk Party.
Ooh, that's not bad. Okay, I'm sorry, I've led us off topic here.
That's no worries. I just wanted to... It's also a very interesting pairing at first glance.
That's true.
Is there any particular reason that these two are side by side that you have here?
Well, the reason that I have them side by side is that Shelob and Gollum definitely know each other. Gollum first encountered Shelob as he was searching for the ring after Bilbo took it. In 3009 of the Third Age. And then...
Tune into the Hobbit, webheads!
And then 10 years later is when he led Frodo and Sam through her passage.
Right, so he kind of made good on he basically does what Sauron does when it comes to Shelob. Where it's like, oh yeah, that demon... that lives up there in the mountains. I'll just send over an orc every now and then to keep him fed.
I'm sorry, who's sending orcs?
Sorry. Sauron?
Yeah. Sauron.
I listened back to the end episode, which came out fantastic, by the way.
My condolences.
And I started watching Rings of Power. And it's truly funny when you hear a character, an elf, say, like, you know, oh yes, then he arrived in Mordor. Like, he rolls R's on just like the proper nouns.
In doing my research for this episode, I was listening to a lot of Nerd of the Rings, and like, there's a lot of like, yes, and then she came to Dorgarath, and where only before Feanor had brought the Silmarils, and Bierland, where Beren and Luthien and Orgarath and Morgadath both came unto Hingering, and Binglebopped into Shringlebop, and then Dinkelropped against Brinklebrop. And I was like, take me off this planet, I'm done.
I also watched that video. It made me like, it's like, oh yeah, I remember why I didn't put all my chips into this in middle school.
I like how
I remember what turned me away from going all in on Middle-earth.
It really makes me appreciate how sometimes Tolkien just has a name that's like the Brandywine River, Mount Doom, Fangorn Forest. At first I was like, it's just called Mount Doom. You got all these crazy names, and then one of them's just called Mount Doom, and it's like, bruh, no, some of the names gotta be super normal just to balance it out.
Yeah, no, it really it felt a lot like that Phil Jameson video about reading the first page of any sci-fi novel. Would you just jump balls deep into the middle of Tolkien lore?
Have we said jokin' rokin' Tolkien yet? Have we paid our quota for that?
We have now.
We did all our little Lord of the Rings jokes, everybody. We did Jolkin. We did the Wait a minute. Never before have I combined the two.
Oh God.
Tolkien.
Yeah, so let's talk about our protagonists of this episode.
Our protagonists. That's not a word. Yeah. No part of that is a word. That was already gender neutral. So Shelob is an evil. No, please go ahead.
Sorry, I like that a lot. I don't know if I want to. I think I want to adopt that protagonist.
Oh, protagonist, not even protagonist.
Yeah, it's gonna be my new handle on Twitter.
All right, fair enough. So Shelob,
it's pretty bad for a cishet, but
it's pretty bad for. Life is hard out there for a cishet.
All my credit.
All my credit. I'm basically this close to being able to legally own people again. Life is hard out there. The cops just love me. Yeah.
Heads I win, tails you lose. Yeah, no, it's real tough out there.
Life is hard out there in the cishet mines. Digging up enough Kia Summer sales event to feed my family of 2.74 children and a golden retriever.
I really miss the Subaru Turbo.
No, I think the lesbians have claim on Subaru.
Oh, that's a fair point. Please, Shelob, let's start this web.
Oh gosh, I don't remember where we started. If only we could trace back the webs to the very.
So this is the. Yeah, this is our political platform. This is the commercial that rolls, where it's Shelob came from a dark history.
I don't. Oh, like an attack ad? Is that an attack ad or is that a pro? Is that paid for by...
There's a pro. There's the John Fetterman, he's worked with young companies and for generations.
I honestly haven't seen any ads recently for any particular candidates because I don't watch advertisements.
Very good. All the power to you.
Just patting my back. Yeah, so Shelob is an evil thing in spider form.
Not an evil spider.
I mean, kind of a spider, though.
I think Nerd of the Rings was very insistent that while she does appear fully to be a spider, she is mostly known for her shape.
Yes. She is the spawn of Ungoliant, who is she's a member of a political dynasty, really. She's got that Kennedy energy Shelob does, because Ungoliant was born well before the First Age and well before the Age of the Trees. And when she aligned herself with Melkor, the original Dark Lord, Melkor attacked the two trees, and then Ungoliant drank the light and life of the 2 trees, leaving the only lights in Arda the 3 Silmarils that Feanor stole. And then, she ate all the lesser lights, all of the, lesser jewels, and devoured the light of the 2 trees. And then, she covered Melkor in this darkness. And then, well, I guess, I don't know, at what point does Melkor become Morgoth? But, anyway. She covered Melkor in this darkness, and they tracked down the Silmarils to Feanor's dad's house, basically. And just, Melkor stole all 3 Silmarils and withheld them from Ungoliant. And at that point in time, Melkor was weakened from all of his wicked exploits, and Ungoliant was super, juiced up because she just ate, the most powerful thing magically on the planet at the time. And so she was going to kill Satan. And then, Satan was just my bros, help me. And then his bros were at the dawn on the 3rd day, look to the west. And then, a bunch of Balrogs flew with winged speed, but they didn't have actual wings, to his aid and beat off Ungoliant. And then Melkor went on to do all kinds of horrible things and such. And meanwhile, Ungoliant just goes into the mountains and mates with weird spider things and eats the mates and then produces a bunch of baby spiders. And one of those baby spiders is Shelob, who then goes on to find a cozy little mountain pass outside Mordor and just start eating elves and men. And then once the elves and men all dry up, she starts
lies
eating
and waits
orcs.
until well, as we said, she meets up her running mates, Gollum, and eventually lays a trap for Frodo and Sam.
And then Sam ends up defeating her in one of the biggest upsets of the Third Age, using the Phial of Galadriel, the Light of Elendil. And
using Sting,
yes.
Which, funny enough, was named after fighting some of her kin.
Terribly true.
Yeah, in the Hobbit, Bilbo uses this was orcish dagger that he finds against the spiders of Mirkwood.
Well, an anti-orc
calls them
dagger.
Sting after their... Yes.
An anti-orc dagger.
Anti-orc dagger,
yes.
Yeah. Yes, against the spiders of Mirkwood, and names it Sting because inspired by their ability to do so. A quick little science aside here, is it true that spiders do not sting, they bite?
Yes, that is perfectly true. The sting, in the sense that Tolkien is using it to describe Shelob's sting and all that, that means bite. It's still like an envenomation event, so it's similar, but it's different.
Oh, okay. What she lures, she paralyzes her prey, puts them to a coma so they still stay nice and warm for when she's ready to eat them.
Mm-hmm. Which does strike me as something a spider is capable of, but it seems more like the milieu of a wasp, almost.
Yeah, there's a real... it requires a little bit of nefarious foresights, which definitely points to, Shelob's status as more than just your every ordinary garden variety spider.
Right. So what's interesting about this, and the real origin of this topic, is what happens after she is defeated.
Right. Because, yes, she's stabbed. Some eyes cross over. She has been stung by a terrible weapon, and she retreats into the dark. And do you have a particular quote on this? Or
I do.
Oh, great.
I do, yes. So this is from Book 4, Chapter 10 of The Two Towers. Shelob... I should read this like joking. Shelob was gone, and whether she lay long in her lair, nursing her malice and her misery, and in slow years of darkness healed herself from within, rebuilding her clustered eyes, until with hunger like death she spun once more her dreadful snares in the glens of the mountains of shadow. This tale does not tell. Which, this tale doesn't tell, but, you did write a whole hypothetical. You didn't hear it from me, but hypothetically speaking, I hear Sheila's fucking back, bitch. Like,
Yeah, Tolkien does that a lot, and sometimes to his it works against him. I know a couple times in The Hobbit where it's like, oh boy, it sure would be it's a really tense scene of Bilbo sneaking up on Smaug, and he's just and boy, I'm glad that Bilbo lives to tell this tale.
Similarly, as to Ungoliant's demise, there's another scene in there where it's it's something to the effect of she disappeared to the mysterious south. And some say, although we don't know for sure, but some say she just fucking ate herself. Which is okay, so clearly you wanted to write that she ate herself, but you also didn't want to be sure for some reason?
Yeah, I will say that I do love villains whose power ultimately comes down to them just munching on the good guys. Unicron does that in the animated Transformers movie. He just cool planet. Yum yum yum.
Visser 3 from Animorphs?
Yeah, that's really good too. I love that just Pac-Man energy. I wish Thanos did that with the Infinity Stones. I really did. That he had to consume them first.
I am inedible. He just ate the Infinity Stones. He could have snapped all he wanted.
Yeah, bravo.
Thank you. So yeah, Shelob nursed her malice and her misery, and in slow years of darkness healed herself from within, rebuilding her clustered eyes until with hunger like death she spun once more her dreadful snares in the glens of the American political landscape. Not sure how Gollum gets
That's a good point. Gollum has a very definitive end in the tale.
Maybe he just doesn't. Maybe it's all good. Maybe continuity is a bitch, and I don't need to worry about it, because I'm not fucking Kevin Feige, and there's not $2 billion on the line.
Yeah, look, we're 20 years away from... is it 20 years until till Jokin's world goes into the public domain?
Oh, gee.
I feel like it's around the corner. It might be 20, 40 years, sometime in there. You're 30 years away from them going it's time for the Lord of the Rings sequels. And it's well, we gotta bring Gollum back.
We gotta get Gollum back.
Somehow Gollum survived.
Somehow Gollum has returned. Yeah. But anyway, let's not worry about continuity now. Babes, be grateful. We are only 20 minutes into the episode, and we've already finished all the background lore. Last time there were 20 minutes of the time left to do the episode.
Right. No, we can start tackling our premise here. So platform. Shelob Gollum. Mm-hmm. What do they stand for? What's their most important values?
Hunger.
Okay.
And
solving hunger?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
I feel our roles in this are kind of like that. We're the PR team that has to really put the right spin on the activities of our nefarious politicians that we work for.
You know what? I was thinking about how we were going to figure this out, what our platforms are here that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So, Shadow of War, you're familiar?
Yes, that's the game of Lord of the Rings.
Yes, I'm surprised it took us 20 minutes to get to this point, but in the game, Shelob can take the form of a hot lady. She's an evil thing in spider form, not necessarily a spider. It doesn't really stretch my disbelief to say that, she could take other forms, but she never does in canon. I think she might be in spider form. That's what her form is, a spider. So, I think we should just recognize, I think you know what I'm gonna say. We can recognize that the reason why she can turn into a hot lady has nothing to do with the lore, right?
Right. It's just that, this is the lens that video games are written in. It's a language.
It's just it's just that it's hot and actually really good for Shelob to come out towards, like, the hero of your video game and just be like, "So, hero, why have you come to my door? Why has the fly entered the spider's web? Perhaps you want me to suck you and your fluids." Like, just laying on real thick.
Yeah, no, it's... there's a real...
I don't know, I went for sexy spider lady, and honestly, I think I went a little too far.
Yeah, it came out right in that perfect era of yassification. when instead of a horned spider demon, it's now a horny spider demon.
Wow. Excellent stuff. So, this brings me to my next point. I wanted to figure out the platform via some kind of improvisational scene. I want to try me as Shelob and you as Gollum, and then me as Gollum, you as Shelob, because I honestly think that latter one might be better, but I want to rule out the first possibility.
All right, it sounds good to me. I'm more of a Gollum than a Smeagol, for what it's worth.
I feel like I'm both, but anyway. So,
all right, so is it just us discussing what our platform may be?
Yeah. So it's like Shelob is trying to conquer the realms of men and is trying to figure out a platform that she can conquer them democratically.
All right, sure. I'll start us up.
Okay. Gollum.
Yes.
So, thank you for coming to this strategy meeting. The fly has entered the spider's web, etc., etc. What do you think about universal health care? Is that a thing? Is that anything?
My precious is my healthcare.
Very amusing. You know what? It does.
I don't want anyone else to have it.
Oh,
No one. It's mine.
I see. Okay, this makes a lot of sense for you, actually, Gollum. You know what? I honestly don't care about any of that. I mostly care about orcs and men and elves, and being able to eat them. So, how do we word that in a way that is palatable to the voter?
I've not eaten men.
You haven't? You don't swing that way?
I do not. I eat fish.
We eat fish.
We eat the fish.
Yeah, that's better. This is just Cactuar. Wait.
Yeah, I realized that my Cactuar is right knocking on the door of Gollum.
All right. I think maybe we might, let's try the other way around, where I do my Smeagol Gollum impression, and you do the Shelob impression. If you like, you could always do, like, you could either try the whole, like, spider sounds, like a kind of thing, or you could do your patented D&D lady NPC voice, which I find greatly entertaining.
All right, let's see here. Red voters, blue voters, all of them travel this mountain range, and we need to take them, and we need to win them over. What do you think would be the best carrots to dangle in front of these mortal beings?
No carrots. No vegetables. No green elf food. We want meat. We want meat. He wants the precious.
Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense to me, that we want them to find whatever it... But what's precious to the people, Gollum?
Nothing. The precious is mine. But,
Gollum, I feel like you have a hard time seeing having conversations that involve more than two people.
She's right, you know. We do have a problem talking to people. No, we don't. People are our friends. The voters don't care about you. They just want nasty elf carrots. La la la! I can't hear you! What if you tried an infrastructure plan?
My webs are not very safe for most mortal beings to travel down. I don't know if I can sew one up really quick.
Let us check Twitter, precious.
Yes, I do think that you and I would be capable, in our current states, to shitpost our way to victory. That's actually a modern strategy.
Little Earth search. People have opinions about the colors of the elves, precious. Maybe something with that.
And
What's a mermaid? She looks tasty. But only from the waist down. Also, you know what? No, from the waist up. Also. I don't know. I've never eaten people before. Humans. Man.
Alright, scene.
Your Gollum is A+.
Thank you. I would honestly rank it like A+-. Like, it kind of shoots the moon. I feel like I went a little far.
It's tough, as I mentioned, for Gollum to hold hold any kind of long conversation about worldly events.
Also, I want it clear that I was crouching in my chair for that entire scene. I feel like that's important.
Of course, that's how you make the Gollum sound. You can't do it like singing upright.
Yeah, truly. So, what we've learned from that improv is that I can't do either Shelob or Gollum because I will take it too far.
And I will not take him far enough.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. All right, so what do we come up with?
I think there's something to be said about how modern politics are, in a large sense, digital, and can be conducted from the safety of our of home, which is good. It is important to absolutely get out there and see the world, which I think Gollum is more adept at than Shelob. Although as the game
wait, there's
go ahead.
Hold on, there's the angle. I think I just thought of something.
Oh, please.
What better angle for Shelob than trying to take control of the World Wide Web?
Yes, I was just getting at that. Mastering a new web shape is the perfect item for her.
Absolutely, she's perfect at ensnaring things in a web. So she'll be perfect at drawing up like a lot of online hype for her campaign.
It's also a great platform to, as we're seeing in Fetterman's campaign, to just kind of lay verbal traps and catch your enemies making mistakes.
There's some orc just like traveling through Shelob's caves, just like getting covered in web and going like,
Fuck. Damn it. Ugh. Man. I could really use a crudité right about now.
Well, there is a...
look at this web. Look at how expensive it is. Thanks, Aragorn.
I will say, something we have not mentioned about Shelob's webs is that they're sticky like a usual spider web, except it takes more than a regular, they're much stronger than typical spider silk. It's the evilness that they have, it takes more than mortal weapons to pierce it. What a better way to be handing out flyers and stuff like that. and brochures to anyone passing through.
Ooh.
They just put a little bit of spider silk on that, Shelob silk, and that paper is going nowhere.
What if he used that silk to wrap up criminals in New York City?
Shelob. No, that's not a...
Shelob can do whatever Spider-Man can. Can she swing from a web? Yes, she can. That's her whole thing. Look out. Here comes the Lord of the Rings spider.
When you said can, I thought kin. Which made me recall, she does have a lot of people in the streets. In the shape of the spiders of Mirkwoods.
Oh, yeah? She does.
And as you know, if you've played any kind of fantasy tabletop or video game, what is one of the most common enemies that you face, especially at low levels?
Big leggy boys.
Yep, giant spiders. I feel like...
Oh, yeah, that too.
Her sending the spiders out all over Middle Earth to kind of send her messages is a really good campaign tool.
Yeah, that could be very useful. You know what? I think we got the grassroots kind of vibe going on, and that's great. And also, like, maybe her evil and her descent from essentially a Lovecraftian demon monster can kind of corrupt enough people into the darkness and all that. Let's talk about her competition. You know,
Yes.
Is she entering the race as, like, a Democrat or a Republican or a third party? What are we talking here?
It's a tough one because she's evil.
But I don't know if she's racist.
So like nothing's ruled out yet.
Fair enough.
And she I'm trying to think of like what's the most primordial. She's like a primordial demon.
Yeah.
She really just at the end of the day just wants to suck up the blood of the people. Really. She just wants to feast on them. It's really, I do think that our episode order that we have here is really great because September, it's like, all right, Lord of the Rings plus just really snacking on peeps, and now we put them both together.
Yeah, look at that. Let me think here. So, she's worked well with Sauron in the past. Mm-hmm. They've kind of entered an arrangement where it's like, where Sauron's like, all right, so she's cool, I guess. She can just hang out at the edge of my house, and I'll send her some prisoners and orcs and stuff every now and again, I guess. That's fine. I can live with that. And honestly, like, are they dating? I hope so. Make some spider eye babies.
That was a big topic of conversation once it was revealed that Shelob's a sexy lady, actually.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people immediately said, like, "Hey, is this a thing? Do they kiss?" Like, was the
The hard part is like she'd have to kiss Sauron like through the armor, right? I'm picturing like movie Sauron, not like Sauron the Deceiver, like the kind of elf-looking like creature of light Maiar type Sauron. That, like, deceives the Numenorians and all that or whatever. I'm talking about, like, movie Sauron with, like, the big helmet or something. Where it's just, like...
I'm also thinking of the big helmet. But remember, it's like a Heat-Ran Durant relationship because she can have the big, spider claws if she wants them. So... I guess what I'm saying is that if Sauron's got the helmet, she's got the mandibles, so it kind of cancel each other out.
I'm now questioning which is hotter. Human form or spider form, and honestly, it's a toss-up for me.
I think that going off of the current platforms of today, that Shelob would be more democratic in her leanings. Because guns, no good. They'll kill a spider.
You know what? She does hate weapons, I think.
And she is definitely pro-choice. She wants power to women.
Yeah, I mean, to herself specifically. But yes, yeah, technically.
The main women, her.
Yeah, do we think she could be like one of these, like, Well, she isn't blonde, so she can't be a Republican woman. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have to be blonde, or else they don't count as people.
And it's like her her partner, if you could call, if Sauron is truly something like that, is someone like dark and shady and even worse than what she really has going on.
The image that we all had, like, pre-2016 of, like, Hillary in the White House and Bill Clinton as, like, the first dude or whatever. Like, it's really funny to picture Sauron in that role. Like, just as, like, he's just grilling something, I imagine.
It's like the ultimate evil. And he's just like, he's playing catch with the dog out on the White House lawn.
All right, so I have 3 hot dogs for the Elven Kings in their Under the Sky. 7 hamburgers for the Dwarf Lords in their Halls of Stone. 9 shish kebabs for men doomed to die. And oh man, it's really hard to remember the poem. Guys, I can only cook things in combinations of prime numbers.
I like the idea that you open up the grill and it's like the eyes in there.
I see you.
But so yes, no, that's for some reason those are the vibes that I'm pulling here.
All right, I think she could take the neoliberal wing. Yeah, she could be a Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
And you know what the other cool thing is that, like, for her inauguration, she can just wear that dress that she wears in Shadow of War with, like, the completely normal looking dress that's just, like, very clearly a modern regular dress and does not look at all old-timey times.
Not even a little bit, no.
No, like, they did not even try.
Yeah, another piece of this this kind of platform, I guess, is that I feel like she's totally, pro just throwing down whatever honeyed words she needs to say to get votes, and appealing to whatever kind of, I guess, minority demographic that she can reach.
Or majority demographic.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I'm not sure what the race percentages are in Middle Earth. I know that, but she's probably got, like, the orc vote on lock.
You know what's interesting is that, like, I feel like no matter what, the right is going to come for any Democratic nominee and be like, they're the spawn of the devil. They're a demon rat. Bleh. And then, like, with her, it's like, actually, like, why not go for it? If they're going to say it anyway. Like, it's the same logic for why Bernie should run as a socialist. It's like, they're going to call Joe Biden a socialist. Like, we might as well actually put someone who's read a bit of Marx.
Yeah, no, we might as well put a communist up there, because they're going to call him one anyway.
Yeah. I imagine Gandalf just being like, I'm going to run against Shelob. But I have to be a Republican. No, the world's not worth it. I'm not doing that. Also, Gandalf is gay, right? So, like, yeah, he can't be a Republican. He's not going to Lindsey Graham it.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd be able to pull that off.
What's Gollum's thoughts as the VP here?
I was gonna say that Gollum currently gives me real big, like, Mike Pence energy, in the fact that he's. I know we're talking the Democratic Party, but in the sense of, he's there, and he's there for some, like, kind of like a political relationship. And like how to get there. It's like, oh man, I owe this guy a favor. I didn't realize he was sticking around.
He's there to court the weird, creepy online incel demographic.
Hey guys, look, we've got Hobbit representation in our party. And of course the Hobbit is Gollum. Alright,
so she's running as a Democrat. Mm-hmm. So who's she up against in 2024? Probably Trump or DeSantis, right? So, like, imagine Shelob versus Trump. I imagine she'd just eat him, and I think, honestly, if he himself has anything to go by, she would not suffer any consequences for doing that. Until, like, 5 years later.
Yeah, I don't know if she would gain any power from eating him, like eating the trees earlier in the story. She might get hungrier if she eats him.
I think so, yeah. That makes sense. Because if you eat something evil, then you get less powerful. But then, alright, so that leaves DeSantis then. Like, as the presumptive nominee for the Republican Party. Do we think Shelob could eat Ron DeSantis, but first maybe she paralyzes him and stings him and wraps him up in a web, and do we think she can get that web to be rainbow colored?
I can see the web being colored once, like, a person hates the most. And like 9 times out of 10, it's like the colors make no sense. It's like, oh no, it's really deep water, blue, or blood red. But yeah, in this case, that makes perfect sense.
I think it just spins out rainbow, like, on purpose. Like, she just did that. And she's just like, gay rights. And Ron DeSantis is all like, oh, no, I like it too much. Please stop. No, please. I was secretly gay the whole time. I was also every kind of minority secretly the whole time. My bones are being liquefied. I'm sorry, please. Ellie, let me go. And then he dies. What a lovely image I've conjured.
Yeah. So I do think that it's like, well, we got Shelob, President Shelob.
Honestly, yeah, that's how we do it. She just eats everybody in the other party.
Just all the competition, then she's up there, and everyone's like, cool, are you gonna do anything?
And then at the end, it's just like Ted Cruz, and he's just like, Ted Cruz is fucking Teddy Cruz is just like, please eat me, mommy, please. And then she's just like, no. And then Ted Cruz is the Republican nominee, and of course he loses because no one likes him.
No one likes Charlie Brown.
No one likes evil Charlie Brown. Maybe if I let him call my wife ugly and my dad a murderer.
He has like that Charlie Brown like energy to him, and like he's a sad guy. He's a sad boy that'll never kick the football.
I heard he likes to pee his pants because he likes the warm feeling between his legs. It's a real fact that I heard.
Here's what I think will happen in the primaries.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing that happens in every primaries. Bernie Sanders runs, and then the Democrats form a Voltron to defeat him on Super Monday. And at the head of the Voltron this time is Shelob, because of course.
No, I think they try and redo 2020 where they form a Voltron to defeat Bernie and Shelob. But then Shelob is very attracted by the larger target, and so she just eats all of them. They form a literal Voltron.
She's like, "Oh, great! You guys all lined up together."
Yeah, it looks like Stranger Things. Like they form like a literal big flesh man, and Shelob just eats the flesh man, and Bernie's like, "You know what? I'm fully done. I'm. What just happened?" I'm going into the woods to hang out with Hillary. What just happened? I'm gonna go eat my lesbian ice cream and hang out with Hillary Clinton in the woods. I'm done. I'm going to take a nap. I have not, in 42 years, 99% of Americans have not taken 1% of the bullshit I put up with. I'm done.
I was about to do like a Hillary Bjorn like comparison there, but Bjorn's a total Republican. There's no way in hell he's not.
No, he's a doomsday prepper. He's a libertarian.
Oh, fair enough.
Which
yeah, but that cabin's stocked with guns. Believe you me.
You don't miss. I think a libertarian is just a Republican that doesn't want to admit that they're super into Christianity still.
Yeah, he's all about property rights. That's why they have to go in like real carefully.
Bjorn is just like, eat my honey. Also, did you know that the age of consent in Japan actually varies by prefecture? And they're the ones that are taking all our jobs. Maybe we could learn a thing or two. I'm a bear.
It's only considered pedophilia if it's a certain age.
Otherwise, it's a bellophilia or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's that would blow like at that if that's his starting line after like Gandalf like gets all the dwarves inside.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, we finally made it to shelter.
It's like it's just he just pulls out that card about Romeo and Juliet laws from Transformers 4.
Yeah, he's just pointing out like, what about building 12 over here?
Gandalf is just like, oh, I did not keep tabs on this guy at all.
Gandalf has to like escort them out, but like really slowly, like 2 at a time again. Like it's
all right. So Shelob is president now. First female president. First spider president. First, well, okay. 47th evil president. To some extent, I guess. So
yeah, I very much stand by the fact that whatever nice things she said in her platform aren't going to matter. She's just kind of gonna go back to form of eating people.
Yeah, she's probably just gonna like spin a big web inside the White House and eat whoever comes by. Ooh. Although, you ever see one of those presidential addresses where it's just like the president just like finishes talking and then they leave and then like it's a million questions of like, Mr. President, what do you think about this? I would honestly, that's annoying as hell. I would eat them. I'm not even a spider and I would eat them.
I would think that she would start to lose attendance pretty quickly when it comes to those. Honestly, that's a real good world policy.
Now,
because it's almost better than, I think it's kind of better than killing your enemies. Just snacking down on them.
I want to be clear. Freedom of the press is important. But at the same time, that bit at the end of presidential addresses where they all ask questions at the same time does seem kind of annoying to have to deal with. So if I were a big evil spider, I might be tempted to eat them.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Democracy dies in darkness. Good. Tasty democracy. I've eaten the... you're a city upon a hill, you're hiding your light under a bushel or whatever, I'm going to eat that light. Do you think she's going to eat the light from the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Like, that's what she does? You know, the light from the Statue of Liberty that shines over this great land of ours from sea to shining sea?
There's going to be like a Fairly Odd Parents sequence when she comes into power, where all our national monuments turn into like Shelob images.
Ooh. Interesting, though. Organism 46B versus Shelob in a fight. Who wins? I think maybe Joseph Biden, Organism 46B, might come back to retake the presidency from the giant demon spider.
Yeah, he'll return ready to rumble.
She was fairly elected, but also she is a giant demon spider.
Yeah, the Organism 46B's got a couple more tricks up his sleeve when it comes to shape-shifting powers and dangerous abilities. He got stung once by a sword, and that's the end of Shelob, so I don't know what to tell you. There's a reason Shelob doesn't show up in a lot of death battle content.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Definitely if there were, like, right-wing protesters outside, like, chanting about, like, you shouldn't have eaten Trump and DeSantis, like, she would for sure eat them. It would be pretty glorious. Just a bunch of spiders eating those guys. That's pretty nice. One of them just, like, burps and a little polo shirt comes out of its mouth.
Yeah. I don't think that American politics would be majorly changed if there was a kind of a spooky spider queen in charge, and there's just a lot more webs and actual spiders crawling everywhere.
Honestly, this is the America I want to live in. This is the goth America that I want to live in.
Yeah. If things are being corrupted, like, please let them be corrupted in a fun fantasy way.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, that's the core of it, isn't it? Here at the end of all things.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I want the evil in the world to be something I understand through, like, this weirdly narcissistic hero narrative of modern fantasy. I want, like,
let me be clear. I do not wish any ills on President Shelob. I hope that she, lives out her term safely because President Gollum would be very bad for our country.
Wow, that sounds
I cannot
familiar.
think of a worse diplomat to talk to other world leaders.
So anyway, what do you think about this trade policy?
Good. Trade, yes, trade with it. In the dark.
No, we're trading goods for money. Oh, I can't deal with this guy.
Yeah, so let's take our successful presidential party to the final rating place, where we give them a numerical value on how wonderful of monsters they are.
Yeah. So, Shelob is an entity that is very easy to understand from like a narcissistic, heroic fantasy kind of trope, as I was talking about. She's a big spider. Sometimes that's all a monster needs to be, is a big spider that eats people. There's a weird, like, feminist critique reading of Shelob that's mentioned on her Wikipedia article, I think. I don't really know if that flies, if I'm being honest. So I'm just going to ignore that whole part. Where it's like,
I think it catches flies, but that's about it.
She penetrates Frodo, and that's like what a boy does with his pee-pee when they do the naughty dance. So, like, you know, that's symbolism, I bet. It's like, nah, I think she's just a big spider, man. Like, like, dude, have you considered maybe she is a big spider?
Have you considered maybe talking to a girl?
I think this was a female academic who pioneered this theory. Have you considered talking to another
said what
girl?
I said.
Yeah, there you go. You don't miss.
Yeah. No, it's no one is immune from kind of getting too in the zone on a topic. As having a peer to bounce ideas off of is a healthy part of any kind of research and opinion generation.
Not in philosophy or literary criticism. There, I think interacting with other people is the opposite of the point. But yeah, no.
Oh, I guess
President Shelob, or like Vice President Gollum. I mean, they would have a pretty great time, just like skittering about the place, like having tea time with Chucky 3, fucking living it up with Trudeau over in Montreal, eating all kinds of weird right-wing militia people. That's great. Big fan of that. And honestly, yeah, I think this is a good presidency. I think Shelob is a cool monster. I'm gonna give this dream team, and I guess Shelob specifically, 3009 out of 3019.
Very nice. I think that Shelob is I get why she's not, like, you know, top of most people's lists when it comes to evil monsters from Lord of the Rings. Because, at first glance, just a spider. But no, there's a little bit more there, and I think the fact that every creature in Middle-earth has such a rich history to them is something great. Gollum, as a vice president, very bad. As an embodiment, as an antagonist, or as an antagonist to Frodo and gang. An embodiment of the greed and corruption of the ring. Absolutely wonderful literary device. But yeah, not quite the political champion that we're hoping for. I don't have any complaints about this arrangement. I think it would be a perfectly fine 7.5 out of 10 presidency. Like, you know, maybe a little bit better than I was expecting.
You know what? I think I gotta revise this. Because at the zoo where I work, I have a perfect daughter who is Bisbee, the Arizona blonde tarantula. She comes out in Habitat Hollow sometimes, and I get to talk about her to the people and stuff. She's wonderful. She's my favorite. She's the best. And so I feel a kind of kinship with my favorite Lord of the Rings monster, Ungoliant, in that I have a spider daughter who rules. So you know what? I think I gotta be supportive. And I'm gonna go ahead and give Shelob 8 out of 8.
For all the spider limbs?
No, for all the spider eyes.
Oh. that tracks.
Wait a minute. We have 2 eyes.
And
2 legs. She has 8 eyes and 8 legs. Shouldn't mermaids not have eyes? Someone call Halle Bailey. You shouldn't have eyes, we'll say. Then she'll be like, you're right.
I do think it would be very fun if they replaced the Little Mermaid with still voiced by Halle Berry, but just a fish. Same movie, fish body.
How do you pronounce her name? I think I'm mixing her up with Halle Berry. Halle Berry? Haley.
Yeah, Halle Berry.
Haley Bailey. No, it is Halle.
Ales and bales.
God, I don't. Boy, her Wikipedia picture is weird.
Okay, we're straying far from this. Thank you for joining us for the first of several creepy crawly episodes this month. We'll be back with more webs of wickedness. And see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Thank you for stumbling into my web, little flies.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that I'm going to suck them. That feels weird. That feels weird to do now, suddenly. Suddenly I found a line.